You may have seen this video yesterday. It's absolutely shocking, but it's the reality that those who are living in Aurora, Colorado are currently dealing with right now. Venezuelan gangs are taking over, and well, as many of you predicted, there's really not much in the way of federal pushback. Unfortunately, for those who live in these cities and suburbs, they're forced to deal with the harsh reality that gangs that started initially in Venezuela prisons have now made their way here into the interior of the United States. And it's thanks to the open border policies of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And it's very frustrating and upsetting to see play out because this is all preventable and it's heartbreaking. Now, Colorado's been dealing with this for quite some time, specifically Aurora, and they've been trying to push back. There have been so many stories circulating online that you probably have already seen. Like, take a look at this story. The city of Aurora tried its best to close down an apartment complex, obviously, who was dealing with all of this. And they were ultimately saying that there was code violations, but the landlords themselves were saying that they were unable to get into the building because of these gangs that were taking over. That was one of the stories that popped up. Now, Aurora police are saying that they've created a special task force to go about stopping all of this from taking place and trying to combat it. But again, it just feels like it might be a little long overdue at this point. Joining me to discuss is a councilwoman who's been very outspoken about all of this. Danielle Jurinsky joins me now. Thank you so much, Danielle, for jumping on with me to talk about this because seeing that video, I think, captured the attention of a nation because we're not used to seeing gangs kind of take over apartment complexes and go door to door, knocking on the door, armed with guns. It's deeply concerning. Can you give us some insight? Has this just recently started happening in Aurora, or is this something that's been a long, ongoing problem?
I was made aware of this about a couple months ago. So I think that this really started to where it's at now a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking in itself to see that it's playing out like this. Police are saying that they've created this special task force, which is great to hear. Have you guys reached out to the federal government for any resources? And if so, have they helped out?
Well, first of all, up until this video came out yesterday, I was one of the only ones in Aurora that was talking about this, that was trying to expose this. I was battling against the local media that was putting out stories against everything that I was saying, that this was completely made up. And it wasn't until yesterday I physically went into this complex until I had these folks safely off of this property.
See, that's heartbreaking that they have to deal with this stuff because when you move into an apartment complex, this is not something that one thinks that they have to endure, right? They don't think that they have to do all of like have to deal with all of these threats, unfortunately. I heard you in a previous interview also talking about one tenant who has suddenly gone missing. The landlord was unable to reach this individual, and so they worked with police to go and make entry. What did they find on the inside of the apartment? And what are you hearing? Are there any updates regarding where this tenant might be?
There are absolutely no tenant updates where this tenant might be. It's as though this tenant has simply vanished. When the police aided in getting these folks into the unit was filled with cash, guns, and huge barrels of gasoline. I'm being told that the migrants are running a black market on gasoline.
Do you have any insight on what that would look like? Because that sounds so strange that that would be their way to profit is off of gasoline.
Well, I don't think that's their only way.
Yeah.
I think the crime and the terror is another way, the extortion. I really don't have any further information on the gasoline. Like I said, this is all coming out so quickly and so fast. I say that this is a literal invasion. I mean, that is how fast this has happened. So I don't have a ton of information on that, but it is very alarming to hear this.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you think of the local law enforcement's response to all of this? Do you think that it's been efficient so far? Do you think they could utilize some more resources?
Oh, to think that one local law enforcement agency could deal with this on their own is absolutely absurd. I mean, we need help. We need our federal partners, our state partners. We need people to step in and help us deal with this.
Yeah. What's your governor's take on all of this? I'm sure they've reached out to you, have they not?
Oh, the governor's absolutely silent. I have not heard a word from our governor.
Yeah, that's not okay because you guys need help now. And I come from Long Island, New York. we actually had an issue with MS-13, and it was a horrible incident that took place regarding several children being killed. And it wasn't until we received federal resources from President Donald Trump did that issue stop. So it's really important that you guys get those resources now more than ever. What can the American people do to help Aurora right now? Is there an individual that we could be contacting to make sure you guys are getting the resources to take back your city?
I think, if you really wanted to help, send emails to citycouncil@auroragov.org, because right now I'm honestly one of the only ones in Aurora making noise about this. It seems as though the entire Denver metro area is really trying to silence this and playing politics regarding this, but there are human beings suffering, and that's the bottom line. These are American citizens that are in these apartments trapped and suffering. So sending emails to citycouncil@auroragov.org would be very helpful, demanding that our mayor get involved and do something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that should be automatic. It's really upsetting to hear that they're not. But Councilwoman, I'm very proud of you for speaking up, because a lot of people do not speak up on these issues. They just allow it to happen because they just think that's the safest way to go about it. And it's not. We have to take back our cities. We have to make sure that the people who elect elected officials are safe. I mean, that's the reason why we do what we do on our end as voters. And so it's upsetting to hear that you're by yourself on all of this. But I'm very proud of you for doing just that, because this is a very scary situation for those residents to have to live through. So thank you for speaking up on their behalf. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm very excited because I just got my latest order from Fern Valley Soaps.com. That is that goat milk based soap company I was telling you all about. I love it. I'm becoming obsessed. Well, my latest just got the new special edition one. The soap bar is called United We Stand. It's beautiful. It's very patriotic, and it smells incredible. Head on over right now to fernvalleysoaps.com. Take a look around. This is a amazing line of soaps, but most importantly, it is owned by an American family here in the great USA. And guess what? The owners of this company, they are a family and they are patriots. And so you are supporting a great cause. Head on over to fernvalleysoaps.com. Just for listening to today's show, they're going to give you 20% off when you use that promo code BRE. That's promo code BRE. Take a look around. There's so many great bars that you guys could indulge in. I mean, I buy these products. I put them in my guest bathroom. My guests think it's not even a real bar of soap. I think it's just a display soap, but it's real. It is very real. So head on over to fernvalleysoaps.com. Use promo code BRE. You're going to love the soaps and the lotion, so make sure you get both.